our student kind of like pre-orientation before you get here for Anderson Ranch. My name is Andrea Wallace. I'm the Vice President of Artistic Affairs. And we're just excited to be able to welcome everyone back to campus this summer. And we have a few things we just want to go over. That some things that will be a little bit different when you get to campus this year due to COVID protocols and other things like that. So I'm going to go through that. This is a webinar, so if you have questions, you can type them in the Q&A in the bottom, and then at the end, I will definitely take some time to answer all of your questions. This is also being recorded, and this will go up on our website. So if you want to share this with friends or you want to re-watch it at any time, you can do so. So I think we will go to the first slide. So again, welcome back to Anderson Ranch. There's a lot of new staff that you will probably see when you get here. We have a pretty large staff that have all come back to kind of welcome you back in June. And this is just some of the faces you will see when you get to the ranch this summer. A lot of new faces. So for your safety, there's some pre-arrival protocols that we have put in place. So one of the following needs to take place pre-arrival. And that is that you have either received a negative PCR test for COVID that's taken no longer than 72 hours prior to your arrival, or you have tested positive for the PCR test within 90 days prior to your scheduled arrival, and you've completed your 10-day isolation requirement, or you've received a complete COVID vaccine, whether it's Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson single vaccine. The thing that you'll notice at the ranch this summer, though, that even fully vaccinated people will still be required to wear a mask indoors in any of the indoor studios or indoor buildings on campus. So the following documents have to be completed and returned. There is an adult programs affidavit waiver. The link, some of you may have already gotten the link when you registered, and we will be asking you to fill that waiver out before you get here. We also strongly encourage that you've received the flu vaccine, the COVID vaccine if you're eligible, and that you also obtain health insurance. Next slide. So for safety for everyone on campus, these are the protocols that will be in place for Anderson Ranch. We have mandatory masks in all of the communal spaces and studios, and this includes hallways. You may take your mask off when you're seated and you're actively drinking or eating. And it's okay to take the mask off in a private space. Like if you're staying in a dorm and you're in your dorm room, you may take your mask off. It's also okay to take your mask off if you are outside and you can maintain social distance. We will have more information about gatherings, but they should be limited overall unless Ranch is hosting a formal event with a safety plan. Daily wellness checks have been in place, and we have touchless thermometers in all of the studios. We ask and encourage everyone to do a daily assessment for any COVID symptoms, and you may choose to also use the thermometers in the studios. There is also free concierge COVID testing on campus every week. I believe it will be on Wednesdays. That free testing is mandatory for anyone who is not vaccinated. And so we ask that you prioritize getting tested each week. So on the safety waiver, and if you haven't received it, registration will be sending you a welcome packet, generally 2 weeks prior to your arrival at Anderson Ranch. And on that welcome packet is a link to the online health and safety waiver. On that health and safety waiver, there is also an option where you can upload a receipt of your COVID vaccination. We are requiring proof of people who are vaccinated to upload their copy of their card to us, and you can do that here. If you choose not to upload a copy of your card, or if you're not vaccinated, then we will require the weekly testing while you're here. If you want to opt out of the testing, then you need to show us the vaccination card. That's kind of how that works. So if you're on campus and you become symptomatic, we'll ask that you isolate in a private bedroom, whether that's your dorm room or your hotel room or your home if you're someone who's local, that you notify your artistic staff member, the studio coordinator or artistic director, and that you get tested. If you receive a positive test, obviously you would isolate in your private housing for 10 days, and the housing cost would be the responsibility of the student if you're staying off of Anderson Ranch. And on the 10th day, you do not have to isolate if you've not had a fever for more than 24 hours. All of this information that I'm going over is in the student handbook, so please feel free to refer to that. Molly O'Leary is our person in charge of our COVID protocols and business safety plan, and her email is here, Molly MOLeary@andersonranch.org if you have additional questions. Parking at Anderson Ranch. In the affidavit and waiver that you'll be filling out, you will also receive, there's a parking section. So anyone who's driving to the ranch, we ask that you fill out that parking section. And then when you arrive at Anderson Ranch, you will get a parking permit that looks like this that you can hang on the mirror in your car. And we ask that you just display that when you're parking in the lot. And this allows us to find you if there's any emergencies in the parking lot where we have to move your car. So kind of some of the differences you'll see at the ranch this summer is that there are no shared dorm rooms because of COVID. And so anyone who's staying in the dorm will have a private room and a private bathroom. Many students have opted to stay at a local hotel called the Stonebridge, which is literally up the street from the ranch. It's easily reached from Anderson Ranch by the Village Shuttle. It's a free shuttle bus, or by the Stonebridge Inn has their own shuttle. So if you're flying to the ranch and you're staying at the Stonebridge, when you arrive, there's a phone number that we'll be sending you that you can call the Stonebridge Inn directly. Their shuttle will come and pick you up. You can't actually set a time of arrival for them to pick you up. You have to call when you get there. They will send their shuttle and they will pick you up and bring you to the Stonebridge. And if you're driving to the ranch, there are detailed instructions on how to get to Anderson Ranch in the student handbook. Next slide. Some of the other differences you'll see at Anderson Ranch this summer, for those of you who are returning, is that the campus center and the cafe has undergone a lot of changes, really trying to respond to COVID protocols. So like in the past, the workshops will be staggered in lunch shifts, and we're going to ask everyone to really honor those times in order to minimize any crowding in the cafe. If you have allergies, obviously we take food allergies very seriously, but we're asking that you would let us know if you have any life-threatening allergies, and you would, I believe in your health and safety waiver, there is a part that asks you to fill out if you have life-threatening food allergies. The food is really amazing. We have a brand new food and beverage director. We have a brand new chef. I think the food is just going to be phenomenal this summer. So I think you'll enjoy it. The cafe hours we'll have coffee and tea available starting at 7. Breakfast will be 7:30 to 9. Lunch is 11:30 to 1. And dinner, we are extending dinner hours from 5:30 to 7. This is really as a way to make sure we don't have too many people in the cafe at any given time or have people standing in line. So for your welcome dinner on Sunday evening, there's a welcome dinner, obviously, that we set up where students come in and they can meet with their faculty and have dinner with their faculty in class Sunday night. We will be sending you a class time for that dinner. So for that one dinner, the dinners will be staggered because that's our biggest dinner of the week. So you'll get a dinner time starting at 5:30 on Sunday nights, and then the lunches are also staggered. And then everything will be plated. We're obviously not doing buffets. So it's gonna look and feel very different, but I think we're really excited that we think everyone will enjoy the new protocols that we have in place and how the cafe will run. So for those of you who haven't been to the ranch in the past, it's generally sunny and warm during the day. It can definitely drop down into the evenings and be pretty cool. We often get thunderstorms in the afternoons as well. So it's important to bring some layers, some warm clothes for the evenings, and also maybe an umbrella or a rain jacket for kind of dealing with Colorado summer weather. Class details. Classes will run 9 to 5 generally, as they have in the past. The Monday orientation, we have an 8:45 a.m. Monday orientation. That will take place outside on the quad this year. We will have faculty lectures on Sunday and Tuesday evenings at 7. And the evaluations for each class will happen on Friday. They're going to be a little bit different this year. They'll all be done electronically with iPads. And so we have a COVID safety officer and person who will be coming in and also helping us do the evaluations on Friday. So they'll come in with iPads and we'll fill out the evaluations that way. So it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. You'll also notice the class sizes are smaller to allow for social distancing inside the studios. All of your workshops have supply lists that are on the website. And so please, if you have any questions about your supply list or the workshop, please feel free to reach out to us so we can answer them prior to your arrival. I think that's about it. I'm just going to open up the Q&A and answer a couple of the questions. So the best transport from Aspen Airport to the ranch, there is a free shuttle bus. And so there's a bus that is, if you ask the airport folks, it's directly across the street from the bus stop, is directly across the street from the airport, and it will bring you to Anderson Ranch. I think there might be one stop in the intercept lot, but you can ask any bus driver that you're going to Anderson Ranch to get the right bus. Also, I think that in your welcome package, there will be information about which shuttle bus comes to Snowmass Village, where Anderson Ranch is. It will drop you off right outside of our parking lot, and then you can come on through. If your workshop isn't until August, you will receive more emails and information, and you will certainly receive, it's generally 2 weeks prior to your workshop that you get your welcome package letter. Also, if you, we're probably going to be doing these monthly, also these webinars, just to update. If we change our protocols in any way around COVID, we would let people know 30 days prior. So that's why we're probably going to update these once a month and do another one. But so you can also reach out to us, but you can also expect to receive something 2 weeks prior to your workshop with more information. And the meals are all served in the dining room and on the deck of the cafe. That's where all of our meals are served. And again, you can get your welcome package. It's really like a welcome email more than a package about 2 weeks prior to your workshop. You should have already received a confirmation letter, and that has some information on it. So if you've registered for a class, you should have received a confirmation letter saying you're in the class for registration, telling you about your housing. If you haven't received that, then you should contact registration tomorrow, and you can contact Alice. Maybe Meriwether or Esther can put it in the chat. Alice and Viola's email if you need any questions about your registration. We'll put that in or we'll answer it live. Maybe we'll just do that. We'll do that. Or actually, can Esther or Meriwether do that for me? Let's see. The welcome packet. comes via email. If you buy supplies in the online store, are they stored on campus for you? Yes, they are, and you can pick them up on your arrival Sunday afternoon. The Welcome Center is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday to help students check in and also pick up any supplies that you've ordered that we're holding for you in the store. Are there any more questions? Okay, so this will be this is being recorded and it will go on our website. Oh, I think I have one more question. Yep. Okay, so will there be more info coming for the kids camp? Yes. So for kids, kids have a different form that will be sent for a health and safety waiver for children that parents will fill out prior to their arrival. And we will be sending 2 weeks prior to your child's workshop. We will be sending an email to you as well, just telling you more about what our protocol is for dropping your children off, signing the waiver, permission for who can pick up your child, what time you can come and pick them up, things like that. And also, obviously, if it's an all-day camp, you should pack a lunch for your children. So all of that information will be forthcoming 2 weeks prior. Let's see. Yes, lectures will have restricted attendance this summer. There's a certain amount allotted for registration for students versus general public, etc., faculty. So the way to do that will be, if you go onto the website, all of the faculty lectures are on there now for the week that you are coming. And so you can register now online for a seat in Shermer Meeting Hall for the lecture. The lectures will also be simultaneously cast into the cafe and onto the deck, so that if people would prefer to sit outside, they can watch the lectures outside and you don't have to register for that. And also, prior to your arrival, the week before you come, you will also be getting information from our marketing department, which will send you an email listing all of the events that are happening on campus the week that you are scheduled to be here. Most events, if not all, are restricted in terms of the number of people that can attend. So I would suggest the sooner you go on and register, the better shot you have of being able to sit inside Sherman Meeting Hall for any of those lectures. Will you send the information for the kids to the teacher chaperones as well? Yes, Lindsay, I know you're one of our high school partnership programs. So that information, and they're working on a teen release, and that information is going to go out to the high school partnership chaperones for the students, for their parents to sign or fill out before their arrival. And Meriwether, Lindsay, Meriwether, if you can put your email in the chat, Meriwether will be your contact for any of the information for your pre-arrival for the high school students. Any other questions? I'm just waiting a minute to see if anyone's. So if you have any questions, oh, I see more questions. Do supplies listed need to be the exact brand is shown? Probably not. They probably do not need to be the exact brand, but some faculty are more familiar with working with some brands rather than others. So Al, I think this is your question. What I would suggest you do is reach out to the studio coordinator of your discipline, whether it's painting or printmaking, and ask them that question directly, and they would be the best person to answer that. Will there be any evening events after 5 p.m. workshop time other than Tuesdays and Sunday? Generally not. I think there are some films that are going to be shown. There's going to be a film series that's happening at Anderson Ranch this summer. Those events will be rolling out, so I think that will be happening this summer. Other than that, I would say probably not. But if you go to the Anderson Ranch website and you go, let me just pull this up for a second. You go to the Anderson Ranch website and you go to events, which is, let's see, programs, and then lectures and events. You can see anything that we have scheduled coming up and by dates. You can look at the week that you're here and look at anything that might be happening while you're here. But in general, it's Sunday and Tuesday evenings. Okay, so do all classes provide a place to stay? How do we know if it's an on-campus or an off-campus class? So all of our classes are on the Anderson Ranch campus. Some people are staying on campus in our dorm, and some people are staying in our Stonebridge hotel. And so if you registered for a class, you would be able to look at your confirmation to see where your housing is. And if you have any questions, we'll ask Meriwether to put in the chat also. I think Allison Viola's email has already gone in there, aviola@andersonranch.org. You can email her if you have questions about where you're staying. But all of the classes themselves take place on campus in our studios. So you, for someone who needs a COVID test before you leave the ranch, there is an option to be tested on Wednesday at Anderson Ranch. That's free testing. There's also multiple places in Pitkin County, in Aspen, and Basalt that have testing as well. And I think I'm going to ask Meriwether or Esther to pull that up and put that in the chat as well. There's a Pitkin County testing site, and you can do that as well. Will these slides be on the website? I don't know if the slides will be on the website, but this whole call will be on the website. Let's see. I think. And then I see that ARAC COVID19.pitkincounty.com. That is where you can find options, other options for COVID testing while you're at Anderson Ranch, aside from our free testing, which will take place on campus on Wednesdays. If I didn't answer your question, please write another one. If there's anyone else that has questions, I'm happy to answer them as well. I think that's it. All right. Thank you so much for checking in with us. Please feel free to reach out to any of us about questions you may have. Obviously, if it's a class question or studio question, the best person to reach out to is the studio coordinator in that area. If it's about your class itself or where you're staying, the best person or people to reach out to is registration, which would either be Carrie Hennefeld or Allison Viola at andersonranch.org. And you can also feel free to reach out to me anytime. And my email is awallace@andersonranch.org. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. We're excited to welcome people back on campus. We know it's there's a lot of changes and a lot of questions people have about coming to the ranch and about pre-arrival and leaving the ranch and how this is all going to work. So we're happy to try to help you and make this the best experience that we can. All right. Thank you very much. And I'll see you this summer. Thanks.